Normally in a Korean house, the mom will say 밥 먹자, which means let's eat. And then she'll get more mad and more mad as nobody comes within first 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and then the moms usually say, "Oh, I raised my kids wrong. 잘못 키웠다," and etc. and etc. And then after 15 minutes, everyone's at the table. But on nights when these short ribs are being cooked, that like cloud, like a cartoon seeps into your room, and then like a coyote, you're right at the table. So today I want to share with you a very simple way to make this. It does require some time. All good recipes require a little bit of patience and a lot of love. I want you to try this as a new dish during the holidays. Enjoy. All right, we're gonna work with some short rib. 800 grams, right now they're a little bit frozen. Let's see if I could break them apart. Not yet. You can see that the bone is cut. It's going through, what do you call that one? That line saw. And then a lot of the bone fragments, they're kind of everywhere on this beef. So what we wanna do, we want to soak this in cold water, and as it sits in the water, the blood is going to drain out, and all of this leftover bone fragments as well as dirty stuff, it's going to rise into the water. And we're going to let this soak for 3 to 4 hours. And what I want you to do, every hour I want you to change out the water because it's going to get very dirty. So this one here, one of my favorite fruits is Korean pear. If you live close to a Korean market, use Korean pear. We're going to use half of one here. And for our neighbors who don't have a Korean mart nearby, you can substitute with kiwi. Kiwi also does a good job in tenderizing. I would use 4 or 5. All right, guys, and just for color's sake, I'm going to cut off the peel. You know, but my sister was smart about it. When my mom would ask her to peel this fruit, she would like dig in like halfway. My mom would just be like, "No, you're wasting all the fruit." So my sister was never tasked with this. And that came over to moi. Half an onion, we'll just chop this into smaller pieces, and then 6 cloves of garlic. So let's put this in a blender, and then we're going to use a whole lot of tablespoons. So follow along. Let's start with soy sauce. 10 of these. That's 1, 2, 3. I'm just kidding. All right, guys, then equal amount of mirin, or use any cooking wine. 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce. Then a little bit of sweetness. We're going to use 2 tablespoons of that oligodong syrup or corn syrup, or here, honey also works just as fine. So use 2 tablespoons worth. Followed by 2 tablespoons of sugar, a teaspoon of grated ginger, and then a tablespoon of sesame oil. All right, then 6 to 8 good cracks of black pepper. All right, then let's mix it up. Get a spoon and just get a little bit out and give it a little taste. Oh, when the marinade tastes that good, I mean, you already know. I mean, your stomach starts to growl. After 3 hours, you can see now that the water is very clear. I'm gonna drain this water out. But if we go straight to braising, there's still a lot of blood left inside, and that blood will be released into our sauce, and then just doesn't taste as pleasant as it could be. So typically in Korea, we'll give this a quick blanch, about 3 minutes in boiling water, and you're gonna see a lot of stuff coming out of the bones. Some of them bone fragments, bad spirits, confessionals, everything's coming out today. Let's drop 3 minutes. All right, that's 3 minutes. Looks like an oil tanker had an accident. And then under running water, just give it a final rinse, especially near the bone area. And now you can see that the bone marrow has like finally cooked through, so you're not gonna get any more stuff coming out of it. Let's give our sauce a quick mix and then just pour it over your short ribs. We wanna give this at least half a day to sit in the marinade. So if you make this in the morning and you put it in the refrigerator, you come home at dinner and you cook it, works fine. Or for me, today it's 2 p.m. I'm gonna just leave it 1 full day. It's totally fine. That's actually even better. We're gonna leave this in the refrigerator to marinate. Cover this with aluminum foil. Woohoo! We'll place this in the refrigerator and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Hopefully there's no unexpected surprises here. Yes. All of this flavor is now in the meat, even in the bones itself. And it's time for us to cook. We're gonna just dump everything in. Now, common mistake, I've had this Galbi Jjim at some of my friends' places and their moms. They won't cook this beef down long enough, so it's very tough. And the key answer is you wanna cook it for longer, so it gets more tender. So we're gonna add more liquid in the form of water. Add 1 full cup. Let's get this on a high heat first. Once it comes up to boil, we can skim off some of the gunk. That looks good for now. We can skim some off later. We're gonna put a lid on this, and then let's reduce the heat to about a medium. And as home chefs, we all know that we eat with our eyeballs first. Those are eating, and because of that, we need some color. So for color, we're gonna use some carrots. We like to get a little bit bigger pieces, cut a few in half. One thing that you'll see a lot of Korean cooks do is round out these like hard edges, because when they're boiling in the soup, they'll like break each other up. So I don't want to spend too much time here either, so I'll just do a rough kind of shaving around those sharp edges. So we'll round them out. All right, can you tell a slight difference? If not, skip this step. And then this is an optional ingredient. I'm using Korean radish. Normally this Korean radish is huge, but I'm just using a small section of it. I'll measure around 2 finger lengths. Use something like that. Just cut this into larger pieces. Same thing, I'm gonna round out the edges. If you don't have Korean radish, it's completely fine to skip this. Let's check back in our stew. All right guys, and a key step that I forgot to show here, use a chopstick or a sharp whatever and poke the beef. It should feel a little bit tender. If it's really hard, then you need to cook that meat for longer. So don't worry about the broth reducing too much. We can always add more water, and trust me, the taste is 100% there. Drop in our moo, and then gently let's push them into the water as well. Now put our lid back on, and we'll let this reduce down for a little bit more. We have a few more ingredients. These are much softer, so we can add them later when the beef is almost cooked. We'll just chop them in half. 3 stalks of spring onion. We're gonna add this as garnish because it provides that nice uplifting green color for your eyes. Very simple diagonal cuts. All right, I'm getting curious now. Let's take another peek. Wow, take a look at that, guys. You can see the bubbles are getting big, which means we don't have that much liquid left, which is a great time now for us to add our mushrooms. These mushrooms have to fit in a little bit. Wow. All right, we'll take it off. Woo! And we're there. Turn off the heat, and we'll put our spring onions on. All right, but one thing that we should check, there's still a good amount of resistance here. So what to do here? All right, guys, I'm gonna have to add a little bit more water. We're gonna continue to let it simmer until it gets even more tender. We're gonna put our lid back on and give it some more time. And small note, this is a good recipe to use a pressure cooker. Just put all the meat as well as the veggies, seal it in, and it'll reduce the cooking time by about a half. I've been patiently waiting, doing this with my thumbs, but now I think it's about ready. It should be. Let's open it up. My gosh, everything should be super soft and tender. No need to trust me, I will show you. Korean radish, bloop. Yeah, right through. This is cooked through. If we had used potatoes, all of it would have disintegrated into the soup. The carrots, nobody likes it tough. Exactly. All right, and then this one is staring at me. Let's go with this piece. Slide down. All right, and it should be soft. So let's just go through. Boom. And actually, this is one of those Korean recipes that tastes even better the next day because you're gonna reboil this before you eat it, and it's gonna make the beef even more tender and just ooh. All right, guys, and we spent all the time reducing. It should have turned into like a little sauce. And look at that. I want you to sample that. Oh, that's next level. And when it comes to plating Galbi Jjim, don't just dump this whole thing in. It just defeats the beauty of it. You know, it's like finding 2 hours for parking at the beach only to have figured out that you forgot your swim trunks at home. Take each short rib. Ooh, it's nice and steamy. Ooh, hot diggity dog. Put some of our moo here. Maybe one more piece of meat back here. A bit of our green onions over the top. And there it is. All right, I'm gonna go for this front piece up here. Ooh, just get some rice. Get that sauce all over your rice. I'll take a quick bite. Oh, the marinade has gone all the way through the middle. I mean, what can I say, guys? I love life. And also the radish, just break it in to your rice. Little sushi time. And to be honest, this is my favorite part. You know, you gotta rip it off the bones. Get that around some rice, and Bob's your uncle. So if you don't like that Christmas ham, but you still want some beef or some protein, give Galbi Jjim a try. I would recommend doing a small batch with around 800 grams like this first. And then if you want to tweak the sweetness, the saltiness, or whatever flavor you'd like to add, make it your own. But this is good.